Hello Georgia MLS, and this is a video to help you navigate Ditto. Ditto is a listing autofill product that was developed by Georgia MLS. It will take an existing MLS number and pre-fills the listing input form with the relevant information. It is designed to save you time by copying listings that have already been entered into different property types or into different MLSs that we are partnered with. Though Georgia MLS is partnered with several different smaller MLSs, we are also partnered with First MLS or FMLS. It is common for agents to have both of these systems as they are two of the largest systems within Georgia. However, if you are using one of the smaller MLSs, you will need to copy it into that smaller MLS first and then copy it into Georgia MLS. Using the example for FMLS, let's say you have entered that listing into FMLS. From your Georgia MLS homepage, you will need to select the icon for Ditto. This will appear under Quick Access at the top of your page, or you can also go under Tools and select it from your core services. Once you're in Ditto, the first thing it's going to ask you is where do you want to send the listing? Because the listing is in FMLS, you're going to want to send it to Georgia MLS. As you can see here, these are the list of the smaller MLSs that we are also involved with. But since we've started it in First MLS, we're going to go ahead and get the listing from First MLS. From here, it's going to ask you if you want to use a listing number or an address in order to pull up your listing. You can do either. However, the listing number is going to give you more accurate information, and you know you won't be losing anything in that transaction. Once I enter in my MLS number, I'm going to hit search. This will pull up that address, the property type, and if it is correct, it's going to ask me to use this listing. If it's incorrect, I can always revise the search. Once I select use this listing, it's going to take me through a series of questions. The first being your property type. In this example, the property type will be residential, though you'll have the opportunity to change that property type if it fits your needs. Once I select my property type, I'm just going to select Next, and it will ask me for my subtype. In this example, this is a single-family residence. However, I can choose whatever subtype is appropriate to my listing. Again, I will select Next. Here you can enter the status. You do have the option to copy over a coming soon listing or leave it as a new listing. Remember, if you're copying over a coming soon listing, you want the on-market date to be the date the listing is going live, not the date that you're entering in the listing information. Once I select my status, once again, I'm just going to hit Next. And this will pull up my listing input. As you can see, all the information has been copied over from my FMLS listing, minus a few things. You will always have to enter in a contract date, an on-market date, an expiration date when entering in a new listing using Ditto. However, we are two MLSs, so we do require different information as well. The easiest way to know what else you have to fill in is to scroll up to the very top of your page and select the blue Save bar. Anything that is required will be highlighted in red, so you know what you need to fill out. I can continue to hit save, and it's going to take me to the next available required box. And I'm just going to continue to do that until I'm done. Between FMLS and Georgia MLS, there is about 11 or 12 different categories you're going to need to fill in. So I'm just going to continue to hit save until I'm finished. When I hit save and it asks me if I want to send listing to Connect MLS or do nothing at this time, I have finished with my required listing information. If I do nothing at this time, it will remain in your Ditto files under incomplete transactions when you first open up your Ditto system. Send listing to Connect MLS sends this to Georgia MLS, as Connect MLS is the main system we are using. So once you send listing to Connect MLS, you will go live into Georgia MLS. Now I've got a listing number and I've got my address, and it tells me that I am successful at entering in that listing. If I want to add the photos from Ditto, I can absolutely add them from here. Or once I get out of Ditto, I can go back into Connect MLS and add my photos directly from my listing. However you're more comfortable. And that is how you use Ditto in order to copy from one MLS to another. However, as we discussed earlier, you can also use Ditto to copy into multiple property types. So say that this property was sitting on 50 acres of land and I wanted to put that in both land and to residential. Now that I have a listing number that's in my residential, I can use Ditto to copy this listing and put it into land. So now that I'm going to put this residential into land, it's going to ask again, where do I want to send the listing? I want to send this to Georgia MLS. But I want to get this listing now from Georgia MLS since it's already live within the system. So once again, I'm going to enter in the listing number. Again, this is the residential listing number that you've just entered. So I'll just enter in my listing number, again hit search. It will pull up the listing that I have available. If it is correct, use this listing. If not, you can revise the search just as before. Now it's going to ask for your property type. This is the difference that you want to make. Instead of residential, you're going to select land, hit next. You're going to choose a property subtype. Say it's a residential lot. It'll ask your status. We'll make that new. And once again, it's going to copy over the listing input information from your residential listing into land. We'll hit the save button at the top because it will ask us for these dates. It'll also ask you for your agent. And then hit save again. Again, we're just going to fill out this information that gets highlighted for us in red. And when we're done, it's going to ask if we want to send the listing to Connect, which we do. Now we have two listing numbers, one in residential and one in land, giving you that extra marketing value. Once one sells, you can withdraw the other listing at no charge to you. I hope this helps you navigate Ditto. It is a helpful tool that will save you a bunch of time and effort and help you be a more efficient agent.